Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we have been working on traffic for the last little while. I see there is a traffic jam out over here. I'm not sure what's going on with that. We'll look at that in a moment. But what I had planned to do here before I noticed that just now was to work a bit on our demand for low density residential. We haven't done any development work out over here for a while, and we could definitely get some of that done. I guess at this point, we'll see if that is needed later in the episode, because for now, I want to take a quick look at what we've got going on over here. Oh my, okay. I was under the impression that this area had been relatively cleaned up. So what do we have going on here? I think that this was the 4 lanes here, right? So we have the 2 through lanes, and that goes back all the way to here. They should be, if they're going to turn, be moving over into one of our dedicated turn lanes here. That said, it might just take some time to work through this. And we've got this guy pulling a U-turn right there. That is very illegal. Okay, we definitely don't want him doing that. And these guys are, of course, heading down this direction with the overall concept. They're exiting onto the Dale Highway? How many of that is actually going to do that? Because that would be insane. That would mean that instead of going this way and just taking the direct path, they're going around. Surely they're not actually trying to do that. Surely they're trying to go north. Most of them, anyway. That would be my expectation. Well, let's bump this up to speed 3, and let's keep a bit of an eye on that. I'm also keeping an eye on our demand here. I do know that we have quite a lot of abandoned structures, particularly down over this way. And if we take a look at that, they're unhappy due to unreliable healthcare coverage. I suppose we probably don't have a medical clinic down in this area, do we? No, we don't. So we should consider putting one in perhaps here-ish. Sure. We'll do that. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for that traffic jam to proceed forward a little bit so that we can evaluate it a little better, let's get rid of some of these abandoned structures over here so that they can be rebuilt. They don't seem to automatically take them down themselves, which is a little strange. They did in Cities Skylines 1 if the demand was high enough. And maybe it's just that the demand isn't high enough in this game, but it definitely happened earlier in Cities Skylines 1. For now, I just want to get rid of all of these, and that'll be absolutely fine. Coming on over this way, frame rate is definitely seen better days at this point. We are starting to hit some of those performance issues that we were warned about. We'll see how it goes. We'll continue going for now, but if it gets too bad, we may have to call it. But we're not at that point yet. So for now, I just want to get rid of all of these, and we'll take a look at that... We'll take a look at that traffic jam in a moment. Well, these aren't all taking the bulldoze command. Probably to do with the frame rate, to be honest. Okay. So what are we going to do about that traffic jam? That's the question. Well, the answer is, for now, I just want to observe it. And I want to... I paused the game here because I don't want to let it run too far. Because if it does, our traffic levels might drop and we might miss our chance until tomorrow morning. Which would not be ideal, right? We would definitely prefer not to do that. So we got the majority of this area dealt with. That seems fine for now. And taking a look down here, I want to follow this traffic and see just how much of it is turning north here. It's really slowing down right up over here. We're on speed 3 here. Well, actually, it's not the traffic that's slow, it's the game that's slow. Note how slow the rain is falling. Okay. Pretty sure that's the problem. Wow, look at that commercial demand. Okay, so we have some crazy commercial demand building up. We should probably build up a commercial area somewhere up this direction. The question is, exactly where do we want it? We've got some commercial out over here as well. We could simply zone some commercial inside of these areas for the time being. We do have a large amount of demand for commercial, though. So that would mean zoning up commercial like through here. This is kind of kind of industrial, I guess, as it is right now. But we could take out that industrial. This is supposed to be, I think, dense commercial over here, or no, this is housing over here. Okay, so this is supposed to be, looks like row housing here. This is getting kind of messy over in this area. No, this is actually low density housing. Okay, so something kind of like that. We're doing high density business up in this area. And ultimately, that should, in theory, be enough. There is this office space down over here that's still zoned. Nobody's actually working on that office space. We can also start taking out some of our lower density business areas like this and replacing them with higher density business. That is a theoretical option. So that would be something like doing this, for example. Okay, so we'll do that for now, and we'll keep an eye on that commercial demand. It is definitely plummeting, so that looks good. And now, coming down to our traffic, is that moving any faster now? Well, no. But it is moving. The traffic update thread appears to be chugging a wee bit right now. Fair enough. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So, how many of these people are actually moving over when they're supposed to? Boy, this is running slowly. Okay, that's running incredibly slowly. To be clear, this is not the speed the traffic is moving. These guys are moving at full speed. It's just not updating every frame. Which, like I said, is fair enough. That's being run on a different thread, clearly, but yikes. That speed is low. Well, the game itself is running at a kind of decent speed. But not so much the rest of it. I wonder if this is those performance issues, because yikes. No doubt about it. Well, it is kind of rush hour right now, so it's 7:16 in the morning at this moment. And the question is, how much better will this start to perform as some of this traffic starts to clear out? And I'm guessing the answer is quite a lot. I'm absolutely guessing that that's going to be the answer. But taking a look at all of this up here, I mean, it's not fully maxing out the capacity of the Dale Highway. So I think that this four-lane traffic over here is, in fact, doing the trick. I suspect. We just have some lane changes happening right up over here that are going to be a little bit on the rough side. So for now, oh, we do see some traffic popping up right over here. A lot of people trying to exit here. These appear to be mostly residential vehicles. So exiting up here in this residential zone does make some amount of sense. No doubt about that. The residential vehicles are something that a metro will absolutely help with. So we can work on expansion of that, and that will also probably help our pathfinding situation too. So expanding our subway would definitely not be a bad thing. It is very hard to see what we have going on right now. We've got too much things popping up. Can we have fewer things? That would be nice. This is definitely too much information at this moment. So we need to go like underground here, right? So we need to shift our view underground? Yeah, more like that. But we can't do that when we're in this mode. Okay, that's very weird. Yeah, that operates in a very strange way. I don't know why it's showing us like this when we can barely see. But let's just take this over to here. We know that we're going to need to get one of these guys about here. There we go. And we're going to need one about here. And one here. Eventually, if we can find one, yeah, one here. Here. And where's the correct directionality? There it is. Here. Awkward overlapping items over here. Well, just awkward directionality overall here. We could put it in here, though, and I think that's reasonably fine, except that that's overlapping items. So this one might just be a little bit crooked. and I think for the moment that's relatively okay. This out here exceeds city limits, and we kind of can't put it in there. Noted. So we're going to need to take our double subway track and, of course, get ourselves nice and underground here where we can see this. This track is where this really starts to get expensive, and, of course, this is only going to be, like, one small part of our overall subway system, right? And what depth is this? Okay. Right there? Sure. So we'd want to link this in somewhere up over here. Ah, it doesn't like taking it through the water. Okay, so we're going to need to do some terraformation here then. We're going to need to grab, like, this height here and just bring through a section for our subway to go through. Something kind of like that. Hopefully that wouldn't be in the water. If it is, we can see about changing it up. It looks like our traffic is flowing better now, so that is good. And yeah, it looks like it's allowing us to do this, but I'm not sure it needs to be that height. Oh, okay, that's kind of awkward. But we can bring this in somewhere around here and then see about bringing that in like that. Sure. So that gets us across the river. Lesson learned there. And then we can just continue to bring this in. Now, you can see we're having our finances go down pretty rapidly. This is expensive, as we knew it would be. Each one of these is about 5,000. The stations themselves are about 50,000. There we go. And is this the last one? No, this one's the last one. Okay, so that'll be fine for now. Now what we need to do is we need to get rid of our existing subway line. Or at least put in a new one. No, I think we need to get rid of this and remake it. Yeah. So how do we get rid of our existing subway line cleanly? In the other city skylines, we'd just be able to select the line, but I'm not sure that's going to be the case here. So subway line 1, view details.
Seems like
Delete.
everyone is in a hurry to
Yes,
get somewhere
that's what we want.
fast.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
worth slowing
So with that
down.
deleted,
And if
now
you
I want to put in
can,
a
just
subway
look
line
outside
that
the-
goes in the
I'd rather wait now in
northernmost
traffic than
position
start
here. So we're going to
thinking
need
about it,
to
you know.
go underground
Besides,
here
if I did that, I'd never get anywhere.
and create a subway line in
And
the
onto our main
northern
feature
position.
story. The commercial district
And that's
is
going
booming,
to
as
just
the
come
area
all the
is
way through
attracting
to the edge of the
more
city.
high-end stores,
So I want this to
bringing
come
the
in
latest
the
luxury to our
north.
neighborhood. You can now
Kind
shop
of
for
awkward, but I
designer
guess we can do it this
shoes while
way.
sipping a
Sure.
fancy local Jarva mate.
So in the
Or
north
so my
side,
wife tells me. That's
did
good
I
for
overshoot
business
this?
and
No,
good
I did
for the
not.
community.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jim.
North side
We'll be
over
happy
here.
for this.
North side here. North side here. So this is only like one of our future many subway lines, right? And this just takes you along this side. Yeah, this is going to be very expensive to get put in, but I'm not too concerned about that. We'll have the money, it's just that it's going to be a bit of a process. But we can put in like one of these periodically. Is going to be the overall concept. So from here, this is going to need to flip around, and it's going to need to exit and head this direction. So now we're going to be heading through in the south side. So then this is going to go here. Another one down here. The south side is a little easier to select, so that's nice. Right here. Next one goes here. Then here. Then, of course, here. There we go. Beautiful. And one right there. One right here. Boy, this is a lot of them. No doubt about it. This will not necessarily be the biggest of deals, right? But we can just complete this route here for now. Okay, so something along the lines of that will do. Then I want to do one in the north-south direction, although this is only going to be partial. So we're going to do it on the right side here, going north. And that will end up being here. There's only a few stations in this direction, I believe. So obviously this is not going to be like full coverage, right? And then this guy is going to eventually come around over this way, but we just want to bring it back down to here. It might take an awkward loop. If so, that's okay. But we would just need to bring this guy down to here, and then I think completing it at this one. Yes, complete that route. Okay, there we go. So that'll be good. And then we'll need to have these like quasi interchanges for the ability for our trains to get to their destination and to get to maintenance locations. But that should, in theory, help a little bit. I'm not expecting that to be a huge deal at this point. Most people are still going to choose to drive, and that will create issues like this. This is probably a good candidate for an overpass. And that's what I'm currently leaning towards this being. In fact, we should probably just remove this and make this be an overpass. So that's exactly what I'm going to do for now. These will get knocked back, and in comes the overpass. So that, of course, means we're going to need a straight line tool from here to about here down on the ground. Can we get it here? Nope, that's an overlapping item, so it is right here. And then about here, and then this is going up to be there. Beautiful. Now, this one is going to be the one that goes over it, I guess. It doesn't really matter which goes over and which goes under, but this will absolutely do. There we go. And we can make our right-hand turns nice and convenient, and our left-hand turns nice and awkward. Just the way we like it. So this will come up over here. This will go down over here. This will come up over here. And this will come down somewhere around here. That slope too steep? I guess that makes sense. Can we have it come in a little shorter over here? Or I guess branch off a little sooner up here? That's only a 15% grade once we get down to here. It feels like we should be able to build this somewhere over this way. I'm going to try it out this direction. Okay, yeah, that's definitely not going to work there. So this one will be the complicated one. I was hoping to be able to slam this in about here. But unfortunately, it really doesn't like that. So all the rest of these weren't a major issue, although there's some texturing issues up over here. We can remove these for now and see what this would look like if we were to, say, bring this in up over here. That does look better. And then bring this in about there. Yeah, that definitely looks better. So we can forbid the left-hand turn here. Forbid the left-hand turn here. I don't necessarily love what we've got going on there, so we can redo that as well. Okay. So this would then be, in theory, somewhere up over this way, right? Wait, what was that? That works. Okay. And I'd love to bring this in right here. Unfortunately, that is a 25% grade compared to this, which was an acceptable grade. So obviously a 25% isn't going to really work. Why is this? Hang on. This thing is acting very strangely. Okay, I think it probably has to do with the ground underneath. So we can definitely take a quick peek at what would happen if we soften this up, but I don't expect much to change because of these buildings right here. So that is definitely going to be a bit of a problem for us. There's almost certainly... Hang on. Hang on. Got him. Okay, beautiful. No left turn here. This is a little bit off-center, of course, but I don't mind that. We can't really back this off because of the land drop-off here. So I think we just leave this as it is. We'll make sure that there's no left-hand turns allowed, including you jerk. And then we'll do something along the lines of that. Okay, so this should clean up relatively quickly, and now the problem will be the roundabouts that are further along. High left-hand turns. We're going to say no left-hand turn here, no left-hand turn in any of these places. Thank you very much. There we go. Okay. Presumably there are some up here too. Yeah. Okay, we'll get rid of those. And eventually all of this traffic will figure out where it's going. This should clean up relatively swiftly. High left-hand turns. No left-hand turns. Cool. Presumably there's some here too. Nope, we cleaned that one up. Okay, perfect. Eventually they will figure this out. To be clear, they're not actually going this slowly. That's just the traffic thread slowing down, it seems. I want to check in on this status over here. So the Dale Highway is very packed right in this area. How many of these people are attempting to lane change into this lane that they shouldn't be? That's the question, because they're supposed to lane change back over here. And a lot of them are, to be clear. These guys are doing the right thing, moving over into these lanes, because they know that they're going to be turning. Unfortunately, a lot of these aren't. Oh, there's a road maintenance truck right here. That's a big part of the problem. It's clogging up our through traffic. Yeah, that's a big part of that problem. Okay, so the road maintenance truck is probably what was going on there, to be honest. There's a lot of U-turns happening right here, and that's not supposed to be a thing. It doesn't really mess anything up in terms of traffic flow, I suppose, but yeah, having the road maintenance vehicle taking this route is definitely going to slow things down a bit, so I would expect that this gets going again fairly soon. Okay. I want to check in on this situation right here. Looks like this is cleaned up quite nicely. It's still in the process of getting all of these guys through, right? Oh, hello, left-hand turns. These are causing big issues. No left-hand turns here. Thank you very much. This is illegal, sir. Cool. Those left-hand turns absolutely mess up highway traffic flow, and we do not want that happening. Also, this delivery van is backing from the highway onto the roof of this house. Or actually, I guess this is a company. Okay, now it's turning back around. I guess it was doing a Y-turn. That's the most awkward levitating Y-turn I've ever seen, I think. This police officer maybe should have done something about it. But whatever. So this merge-on is happening over here. It's slowed down because we were waiting on this delivery van, but that is reasonably fine. We could take this down to two-lane traffic and have this be only, like, have this be essentially a dedicated turn lane, or a dedicated merge lane, I should say. I'm not sure that that's necessary. I think that as we move through this traffic will clean up. So checking in down over here once again, with that road maintenance vehicle out of here in theory. Yeah, looks like it's moved on. With the road maintenance vehicle out of here, this should be speeding up, and we should have a decent amount of traffic coming through here. This feels like it's about the same. It feels like we're not really making any progress. We're just treading water in this situation. So that's not necessarily ideal. That's for sure. A lot of vehicles coming down here, but once we get here, it's quite clear. So once they get to this straightaway, it's pretty smooth sailing. The real backup is right here. And I think this has to do with lane change behavior, is my theory. I'm reasonably convinced that this is lane change. Yeah, can't seem to get anywhere in this city without running into a traffic jam. We're working on it. Speaking of which, I want to evaluate how that subway is doing. I understand that there's not actually a lot of places that people are going to want to go on the subway right now with the destinations that it has. But I want to see how we're doing on the subway line in terms of usage right now. So it's currently at 0% usage. There are 5 vehicles assigned to it with 4 active. And it's got 20 total passengers. That's not necessarily ideal. The reason why it has 20 passengers, of course, is because it just hooks up this line of residential locations, right? Where are you going to go with that? If you live here, you have to get there first. And then you want to go probably up over here somewhere, right? So that's the core issue there and why that's not seeing a lot more people. But I do want to let our money build up a little bit. we might go for making like one line per episode or something like that. I just want to have it be, it's going to be a big project, and I want to have it be a little bit paced out so that our finances don't take an absolute beating. If we look at how much we're paying right now for our service upkeeps for our, let's see here, public transportation. Where are we? Transportation. Yeah, we're currently paying like 300,000 a week for it. That's a lot. How much are we actually getting from it? Well, the answer to that is zero. Nobody's really using it right now, and I think they stopped using it over this line up here. And I think the reason why they did that is because it doesn't directly connect up over this way. So I'm wondering if our plan of having separate lines, I mean, I still want to have the separate stations, but if the plan of having separate lines going vertically and horizontally is that might be a bad plan.
There's no sinking this boat, Glenn.
We might need to have one extremely complex line, but I don't want to do that. The question is pathfinding, right? If we have a situation where we have the underground subway here and the underground subway here, will we have people take the subway from here, more specifically from like here over to here, and then walk over to the other subway line and then take the second subway from here up to here as a connector? I don't know if they'll pathfind like that. That's the real question. We can see that there's currently 5 passengers waiting up over here, but it might be a couple of things. It might be that these subway stations are too far apart. I'm not convinced that we can really get them any closer. And I mean, really, it's not that far of a walk, right? You walk like that. So I'm not convinced that that's actually going to work, but we'll see. I do see some left-hand turns here that we can get rid of. No left-hand turns. Thank you very much. There's also a crosswalk over here. Get out of here, crosswalk. Nobody likes you. Fantastic. These on-ramps are actually streets, and that's probably a problem. Left-hand turns are here, and are, of course, evil, and we don't like left-hand turns. Fantastic. Okay. So things are definitely entering a bit of a slowdown, and I think, honestly, our best way to handle it is to reduce the amount of traffic. I really think that that's probably going to be our best bet. We're seeing a bunch of traffic jams, and we are seeing a large amount of performance issues, although that seems to have gotten better. Wow, there's a lot of traffic jams right now. Okay, so we've got a jam down over here. We've got a jam going on up over this way. We've got this here, which looks like a jam that hasn't been flagged yet. Yeah, we need to start expanding our subway, no doubt about that. So currently, the question is, do we have to put these into, like, really awkward subway lines? Or do we have to do it the way that we are doing it, which is potentially also awkward, but also potentially a cleaner way to do it? So that's the question. Will they walk from here to here? Or what if we had a really awkward subway line that, like, navigated these corners? So it went from, like, here to here. I don't know if that would create, like, subway jams with the trains. I don't know if that's a thing. We might have to do some experimentation with how to get this system to work. We'll find out. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to weep about the sheer amount of traffic jams. And to be honest, that definitely indicates that we need to deal with some mass transit. Oh, I just had a really strange idea. A really strange idea. If they don't do this, would it work if we had a bus line that went from, like, here to here? So we would need, like, a bus stop, right? This is a bus depot here. That's a bus station. So that's a bus stop stand and a bus stop shelter. Okay, yeah. That is a thing that we definitely could do. So a bus stop running just from here to here and then back. And do that for all of these interchanges. That might be a viable thing. We'll see if they won't walk it, but I suspect they will. I don't think the buses are necessary at this time. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kintogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.